Welcome everyone. This topic is going to be covering some common questions that we get around search engine optimization or SEO, as well as some questions tied to digital advertising or paid advertising. Some big topics. ConsultWebs has been working with law firms now since 1999. We've seen the evolution of the search engines, in particular Google. When I say search engines, I'm referring largely to Google. I want to cover, I've already spoken a little bit about search engine optimization and paid advertising, but you may be wondering, why SEO for my law firm? First of all, what is it really? Why should my law firm even care about SEO? As I've mentioned before in the opening, SEO is an acronym. It stands for search engine optimization. And while there are tons of benefits behind, the most appealing aspect of it is the fact that it's been proven to help firms achieve better rankings in Google, what we refer to as organic positions or non-paid. You're not paying Google to show up there. You're building a website that ultimately earns rankings. And so why do those positions or rankings even matter? Well, we see it as a domino effect, one thing that leads to another. Let me explain that. Better improved positions for specifically case-driving terms. If you're a personal injury lawyer, the search term personal injury lawyer or car accident lawyer near me. If you are a divorce lawyer, somebody going to Google and typing in divorce lawyer or family lawyer near me, those are tremendous terms to show up for because they have direct intent to hire that particular type of law firm. And so ideally, as your rankings continue to increase for those case-driving terms, that is where cases begin to pile up. Phone calls, the phone begins to ring, and you're able to sign clients, and over time get even more picky and choose the right clients, the right fit clients, which every business owner is obviously interested in finding that formula. If you have questions, as mentioned earlier, please drop them in here. We hope to cover them. If we're not able to cover them in this discussion, certainly we'll hold another event and cover some of these other questions. So let's dive in. I want to start just by explaining what we see or how we see SEO. It's much like a car race. You're the driver as the law firm. Your website is the vehicle, it's the car, and legal marketing agency or your in-house team, whoever it may be, or a combination thereof, they are the pit crew. Any one of you familiar with Formula One racing? I've used this in a prior presentation or webinar before, but even if you're not familiar with Formula One racing, it doesn't matter. The concept is, think of SEO optimization as a car race, just going as hard as you can around a track. Now, to win the race, obviously, you need resources. The car needs to be consistently upgraded, new tires, potentially refueled. There are all sorts of factors related to the car that may need to be fine-tuned as it's continuing to hammer its way around the track. There are other factors, like the track build itself, track conditions, the weather. What's the weather doing? The individual driver's talent. The pit crew obviously plays a major role. Competition is a major factor. All of these factors are things that are going to influence and cause variances within the cycle of a campaign. And so understanding that hopefully gives you a sense that it's not a very cut and dry black and white concept. It's dynamic and it's ever changing. So what are the best of the best SEO companies bring to the table for lawyers right now? First and foremost, you want to have a credible team. Very, very rarely will a small handful of team members be sufficient to be able to handle the whole vast effort of a effective search engine optimization campaign. We'll get into some more details on what goes into that, but having the right team, a good breadth team, is going to be important. They also want to have the latest technology in place, tools, those aspects to be able to monitor trajectory of the campaign, monitor performance. It's important. Without that, you lack accountability in the relationship, and without accountability, you often have doubts, as you should, rightfully so. And so that's so important as well. You also want to have a team that understands your business, and I cannot stress this enough. You want a team that understands law firms, not just your business and law firms themselves, but more importantly, understand your clientele. Let's continue on through these questions. Why is search engine optimization important for law firms? You may already start gathering some of those key benefits and why it's important, but the truth of the matter is people are online today. In fact, they're spending more and more time online each and every day. The statistics are unbelievable about how the pandemic has just forced people to the web. As a culture, we have created a convenience with the web and doing business online. And so as a law firm, you want to embrace this. And that's why search engine optimization is so critical. People are going online to search. Are you there when they're searching? How much does SEO cost? Now, this is a tough question, and I'm just going to go ahead and hit it head on and early because I know it's there. You know, it's much like anything, it depends, and I know that answer isn't always the answer we want to hear, but it's the truth. Quality search engine optimization practices are not going to be cheap, I can tell you that. Rarely would they be just a few $100s a month. If it's going to be a competitive campaign, you have other law firm competitors who are investing in their own SEO or search engine optimization presence. And so ultimately only the strongest will reach the top. And keep in mind too that most prospective clients are not clicking into page 2, into page 3, into page 4 and doing this exhaustive research. Instead, they're browsing through the first few law firms that are showing up there at the top of search and making phone calls. If they're getting rejected, maybe at that time they'll go toward the bottom of the list. But you need to be at the top in order to get the best shot at the best cases. And that's why you should not rely on a cookie cutter templated approach, which very well could be cheap. It could seem like it's working. It may work over here in this city and potentially over here in this city, but at the end of the day, you need a unique strategy that is 100% tailored to your firm needs, but is backed by a proven formula and a proven system. All right, let's move on. What are some of the top benefits a law firm can expect from SEO efforts? Now, the key benefit, and I'm going to hit right on that, is ultimately increasing your lead count and ideally quality lead count so that your case counts also increase. Where you're tracking this every single month, your lead count should be increasing, which means that what you're investing in marketing should allow that lead, that cost per lead, to be reduced every month. So if I'm investing $5,000 a month, I'm getting a start with 10 leads. Next month it jumps to 20 leads. The following month it jumps to 30 leads. What I'm doing is I should be calculating what does it cost me to drive each individual lead. You make that calculation, and ideally that cost per lead is consistently trending downward. It's a solid indication that the campaign is producing. That is a key benefit, but naturally that benefit leads to the major benefit, which is ultimately your case counts. And you want to track your cost per case, or that cost per client acquisition, the same way you're tracking your cost per lead every single month. Monitor that trajectory. Ideally those case counts are rising and that cost per case is decreasing because of that every single month. So many other benefits, I'm not going to get into too much more depth there, but ultimately the idea is brand awareness, lead generation, and most importantly, case signups. What about this question? When I begin to invest in SEO, how long is it going to take before I start seeing results? No one size fits all here. Obviously, every market's different. Every firm is coming to the table with a very different scenario. Maybe it's a brand new website. Maybe it's a well-established site that you've been investing SEO for 10 years. Completely different dynamics. Could be the same market, but two very different strategies depending on where you're coming to the table. Promising and putting a timestamp on a specific deadline on when you're going to get your first case and when you're going to get to this case count, it's dishonest. There's no way you can actually pinpoint that. Now, we can look at prior data, historic data of other clients and look at their averages and ultimately paint a picture on what the average client experiences, but averages can often be flawed as well, depending on what types of cases a law firm may be after. With all of that being said, we found that after months 12 and 13, that's when firms really begin to see the fruits of their investment. Another way of looking at it is after 12 months of working with ConsultWebs, our average client sees their cost per lead decrease by 71%, meaning the money they're putting in and the leads that are coming back, those leads are costing them now 71% less. They're getting more leads from that. And I will tell you, in most instances, when someone hires ConsultWebs, they're spending more than what they were investing with their prior agency. They're investing in a quality campaign. All right, next question. Let's say I have good rankings. I'm in a position I want, maybe ranking 1 through 3 any given day for a good search term. Should I consider scaling back my SEO investment? If I'm already there, won't I just continue to stay there? Would I be better off applying those dollars into some other type of marketing, or better yet, hold it on for profits? This is a good question. It's definitely one you need to be asking. It's just good business nature to evaluate everything in the business and on an ongoing basis. And so I understand the basis behind this question. The question I would ask you if you're asking me that is, how much of the legal pie do you want? How much are you eating currently, and how much do you want? The answer is always going to depend, but one thing is for sure, you can always take another bite. In most instances in business, you can always eat into more market share and ultimately continue growing as a business. The fact of the matter is you want to continue to maintain top of market. And by taking your foot off of the gas pedal, you can guarantee your competition is not. In fact, they are double downing in most instances, and you have a target on your back. And so when you're at the top, that is not the time to be backing off. Otherwise, you will get outpaced eventually. Hopefully this has been helpful to you. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions one-on-one. Feel welcome to reach out to me at any time. You can just go to our website, consultwebs.com, and call the number or reach out to us on a contact form there. Looking forward to the next one already. Thanks, everyone.